Welcome, everybody. It's Ramlin Ralph. We are joining you, and there is my partner, Cece. Go ahead, girlfriend. Well,
Hey, well, I know hidden switches around here. Hidden switches. Welcome to a special Tuesday, late afternoon edition of Levels. We have an Olympian today, y'all.
we do.
So, without further ado, let's bring in Olympian Marlen Esparza.
Hey,
Hi, everybody.
Now, you've got a fight this weekend, so I'm guessing you're in the. Are you in the bubble?
Almost. I got, almost. I'm in quarantine in my room right now, but we got tested today. I got in today. And then until my test comes back clear and my coaches, or both my coaches come back clear, then we're officially allowed to start the bubble, which means we're allowed to be around each other, but nobody else. So everybody that's cleared can be. But as of now, I'm just totally isolated for today.
We're speaking with Golden Boy flyweight Marlen Esparza, who also happens to be Olympian, also happens to have an important fight coming up on this Friday with Sulem Urbina. Can you tell me what this fight means for you coming off of the last one with the Sinisa?
Yeah, no, it's a major fight. I would say the Sinisa fight, people were considering it like a career-defining fight, but because the way it played out with the headbutt and there's so much controversy between still who's the better fighter, we really got nowhere. So this fight is basically going to decide to me um, if I am who I think I am, because regardless of that loss, it wasn't a real one. There was still, you really don't know who's better, and this is really just going to show people that I am who I say I am, and I am, the best flyweight in the world right now, and I'm 7 fights in, 8 fights in, but this is my legacy, and I think that's what this fight is really going to determine. It's like, am I the real deal or did I just fall off? And that's I mean, it's everything. And because of that, it's a lot of pressure, but it's also a lot of fun because for the first time I'm the underdog, and for the first time, I don't really have anything to lose. I've already, I'm here now. So it's a lot.
speaking of pressure, your Golden Boy Promotions first female fighter. You have endorsement deals, cover girls, Coca-Cola commercials. I mean, you name it, you're there. Does that put any extra burden on you to feel like you have to perform, that you're not allowed to slip up? I mean, even last fight, I know that you were kind of down on it because you weren't able to finish and able to say, well, look, I finished. If I'm going to get beat, I want to get beat, finishing the fight rather than have something like this happen. Does it make you feel like you have to go out and prove something because of the things that have already happened? The good things, obviously, since you've been signed with Golden Boy.
Um, no, not to a certain extent with the sponsors and the way that really doesn't intimidate me or make me feel like I have more pressure. It actually takes a load off because, as everybody knows, women don't get paid a lot. So I do. A Golden Boy is generous to the women. They do take care of me. I know that they don't play that role like the other promoters do. They really are supportive. But I do make a lot of money, and I made a lot of my money. I support myself mostly through sponsorships. So it really takes a load off because a lot of sponsors don't necessarily like the combat sport. They like the idea of women empowerment and the idea of being Latin and being the first and being an Olympian and being a mother. And a lot of those sponsors really gravitate towards that I can speak well, I can articulate, I represent a lot of different types of women from that aspect. And I think that's really what I get from them and they get from me. As far as pressure because of Golden Boy and coming off that loss, I would say yes, it was hard to take, but in a weird way, if I wouldn't have had that cut, I wouldn't have gotten as much as respect that I got now. I've gotten so much more respect from people because people really just thought that I was just like woke up and had sponsors and I got lucky. Like people didn't really think that I had like the dog in me, People were like, "Oh yeah, she just gets sponsors and she's just a pretty face and that's why she makes money. She's not even good." And then it took my whole skull being shown for people to actually be like, "Wow, you can fight." And I think that really getting that cut and it being so severe and it going so long like that gave me way more respect than I would have gotten by just beating her. And that's the honest truth. I've never gotten such so many people saying, "Oh, you can fight. Oh man, like you're tough." And I didn't know that you could fight. And it's just like what? How could you have not known I could fight? It took my whole skull to show
Like,
that.
dude,
So,
I'm an Olympian.
I think I just got to continue that and make sure that people recognize that. Yeah, now I can fight, but I need to win, and I need to win clearly.
How many stitches did you receive and how long was it before you can actually take contact again? Oh, hello?
20 and 22. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, I received 22 stitches, but they hooked it up because they did the stitching, but then they also did the glue stitching over it to make sure it cleared up nicely. Because when I got there, I was like, "Hey, I know you guys are used to boxers and stitches and stuff, but my face makes me a lot of money, and I
Got
can't
this here,
afford
cover
to
girl contract. Yeah.
have this scar."
So
I'm sorry, excuse me.
I was there that night of your fight, and I was in the media room, and French on Cruz was there, and there was a handful of women who were talking about you and how concerned they were for you and how proud they were that you actually lasted as long as you did with that cut. How important is the sorority in women's boxing for you, and how's it changed over the years?
It's changed a lot over the years. It's I think the most important thing with women's boxing right now, um, for me and for everybody, regardless if everybody has so many people have their history and their controversy and their rivalries, but it's changed over the years, both positive and negative, because women's boxing wasn't where it is now. So I think now people are starting to be more competitive in the way of, "Oh, I don't want you to do good. I only want me to do good." And everybody wants to be the Ronda Rousey of boxing. And a lot of women in this generation don't understand that there's not a Ronda Rousey of boxing. There's gonna have to be a lot of us, and we're gonna have to respect each other and support each other in order to become better, to become a respected sport and to earn the money that the guys make and to be on pay-per-view and to become um bigger than we are. And a lot of us are starting to understand that, and it's becoming a really good thing. As far as, even with me, it's like, "Well, I don't really like you, but I do support you." And I've gotten that in return from a lot of girls that at the beginning they're like, "Oh, I don't really like her." And, I don't really like her, even if they didn't know me, but they still now are giving a lot of respect because I think we're starting to understand that we need to stick together further.
Speaking of support, you have a good support system at home. You have a little one that you take care of. And this, obviously, 2020 for all of us in the industry has put brakes on all of us as far as work, as
I'm
far as,
sorry, I can't.
did we lose her? There's Sky. Hey, Sky. I think we lost her. She'll be back here. But once she gets back in and out, Cece, I want to talk to her about having small children in this industry. I know for me, even as I'm getting ready to start traveling again, starting tomorrow, this pandemic, even though it slowed my work down, it was able to allow me to slow down and
Mm.
reunite with my children every day, something that I was really severely lacking and missing because my children, they understand that dad has to go to Vegas every 10 days and,
Yeah.
work in LA, and it's very difficult. And you as well. I mean, you started going back to UFC fights before I did, but there she is.
Okay, yeah, sorry, it's
Right
the
there.
internet connection here. I
Oh,
apologize.
sorry. Okay. No, that's okay. I was just wanted to talk about your support system at home. You have a young child, and the pandemic has slowed us all down.
Man, these hotels, the
Yeah.
Wi-Fi in the hotels is really comical. You would think in 2020 they would have caught up, but from what I understand, they had to have like laid the foundation, like as they were building the
Mhm.
hotels, and a lot of them don't want to go back and spend any more money. So sometimes you're just at the mercy, and so
Yeah.
this
Well,
how
anyway,
it
CP,
is.
so let's talk about it. I mean, you have won as well. You started going back to the UFC fights a little earlier, but for me, I'm obviously do stuff towards more of like in the ring staff. So for me, it was a little bit different. But for you, you had to wait a little bit. I mean, they didn't have UFC fights for a while. How did that work out for you as far as your
Well, for me, I made a choice that I'm not going to travel a lot at all. Actually, I stay local in Las Vegas. And so that's a sacrifice because there's work that's happening out there that I have decided I would not benefit from. And so, I think in the long term, it's better for me as a mom. My role's a little bit different in terms of my kids. Like I'm hands on all the time. I think since February, I have been with them 24/7, with the exception of the days when I have to go to the UFC bubble. And so my career has been impacted, but it hasn't really been hindered because of that choice, because everybody's in the same boat.
correct, correct.
So,
And
in the
see, and that's
next few
why,
months, I don't know.
but yeah, and again, it was a blessing in disguise. Obviously, I wouldn't have been on here with you guys, starting this wonderful podcast, which I'm very grateful for, and being able to interview these wonderful guests like Teofimo Lopez, Marlen, Sulam, and most of the Mayweather fighters, Leonard and whatnot. But like, I'm excited, but I'm also scared. Like what she's going through right now. Tomorrow, I will have to start my bubble, but my bubble lasts 3 days, and it's going to be. I wanted to watch The Shining and try to get that out of my juices, but I think that's how I'm gonna, for the rest of the week. Like, I gotta take everything. I got my
The
PS,
hell?
I got my PS4 packed up. I got my Fire Stick. You name it, I got it ready to go, and I'll be doing my real estate work as well. But for her, once she gets that test back, it's gonna be a big sigh of relief, especially since I was trying to ask her about the little one because that's got to affect her going to the gym, going to wherever she's working out, knowing she has a young child at home, and having to protect herself not only from herself and other people, but her child.
Yep. Yeah, it's a tough call. I mean, there are opportunities here for certain where I can go and visit some gyms or be around fighters in some other set of circumstances, but it's a risk. Do I want to? Because we've been seeing some gyms popping up with multiple COVID tests. And so it's happening. It's not like it's something, they're not in a bubble. We talked with, what did I talk with Kevin Holland, who's a UFC fighter. He's in Texas, which is like the Wild Wild West in terms
That's
of,
where I'm going to.
man, between Texas and Florida, it's very COVID friendly. But he was saying how I think it's 2 weeks, a month before the fight, they have to shut down until Marlen is back.
There she is.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's
Yes.
okay. It's not your fault. I'm gonna see if I can squeeze this question in real quick before it cuts you off again. You have a little one at home. You're a mom
Yeah.
now, and that is your awesome support system. We have seen some wonderful pictures already that you've taken with your child. There it is, right there. It's beautiful, beautiful
Boy.
picture. That's awesome. Yeah. How does that change your awareness of just normal things? I mean, look, I've been working. I mean, I'm not a professional boxer, but I have been in the gym working out for many years, and I'm gonna be the first one to admit that it's not very clean. We don't really sit there and now we do, like before I even mess with the bag, I'm disinfecting everything before I even, but before we never did, right? Our wraps we reuse and just stuff that we never had to think about. Now that you have that sweet child at home, are you more aware of what you're doing as far as you're working out, your everyday plan to avoid all this stuff? I mean, tell us what you have to go through now because of that.
No, definitely. It's a lot. Um, First, only at first, because I never had the whole mindset of a mom. I never was like, I want kids or I want a family. I was very, had the idea of kids were not for me. Family, husband, it wasn't for me. I just, the lifestyle that I lived and the traveling and the things that I wanted to do, I just didn't see it in my future. So I was never that girl that was like, I can't wait to have kids. I can't wait to have a family. It was like, nope, not for me.
Right.
So, when my mindset changed, my brother had passed away, and all of a sudden I was like, you know what? Like, family's really important. And I really did start to, in a way, have baby fever, but it wasn't good for obviously boxing at the time. I just signed, I was on my fourth fight. And I also thought a lot about the fact that Skylar Diggs does it.
Mm,
There's so
mhm.
many Alex and Felix. Like, there's so many big athletes who do take breaks to have children, and it's not frowned upon. It's normal. But in boxing, because we're so behind and we're new, it's like, oh no, you can't stop what you're doing. It's gonna ruin your career, and it's gonna look bad on women's boxing. But then again, it's like, well, I don't want little girls who are 10 years old now thinking, man, I'm never gonna be able to have a family or have kids, because that's just not the world I live in. So I really wanted to do it. It was risky, but to also show that if you are in a good place in your life, and I'm old enough, I was 29 when I decided to have a baby, that it's okay and it's not the end of the world, and you can still box and you can still, be successful. So given all that, I still didn't understand what was going to happen when I actually had the baby. So I was like, wait,
You're like,
this
wait,
sounded
what do
great.
I do now?
Mm.
Yeah, what do I do?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it sounded great. And then I'm like, oh wait, like this is hard. But it's a different mindset, and it actually, I know people say, man, that it's the best decision I ever made, and having a baby, and changed my life. And it is that, but it's in a completely different way, I think, from the reasons that people normally say it. It's stabilized me a lot. Being a boxer, you have to be a little off. I was, you have to be. And I really didn't have I didn't have an anchor. I was boxing, 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 and that's really what saved my life and kept me going. And now it's, if something goes wrong in the gym, I'm not racking my brain at night or depressed about it. It's like, hey, I have a whole human that I need to take care of, and somebody that, I'm his whole world. So if I'm mad about something, or I'm upset about the gym, or this isn't going right, I can't go home and be mad at him. So it's
Mhm.
kind of, it's those things where he's made me, um a lot. He's made me so much happier, just in general, a happier person. He's really humbled me a lot, and the in understanding, like, um people's feelings, and people operate a different way, and just because I don't understand something doesn't mean that they're wrong. And I'm getting all that from my son, like, hey, he's his own person. He's someone I have to look out for. So he's really changed just my outlook on life, and then did bring the whole mom thing out of me that I didn't know exists. And I laugh about it, because my dad, when came to my house, and I was changing his diaper, I was getting him ready, and And my dad was looking at me weird. I was like, what? And he's like, I just never thought I'd see the day where you're a mom. Cause I was just like grabbing on his, his tetas, his milk and getting his diaper changed and everything. Like, and it was like, being a mom. And he was just like, and I've heard it over and over from friends and family where it's just like, wow, like you're really different, but also in a good way. So I disinfect everything. It's hand sanitizer every 5 minutes. It's like even guys at the gym, it's just like, hey, be careful. Here's some hand sanitizer. And I do go in my mom modes. And it's something that I never thought I had in me. So having it now and just, I just love him to death. Like I'll do anything for that kid. And he makes me fight better. He really does. It's not about me anymore. And all my life, it's
Mhm.
always been, oh, the Marlen party. What does Marlen want? What does Marlen need? It's like, well, I'm the boxer and this is what I want. This is what I need. And it's not like that anymore. It's like, it's not the Marlen party. And I didn't realize that loving something more than I love myself would make me a way better fighter and a way better person in general. So he's
Yeah,
definitely been the best thing.
I can relate to that story on a personal level. Anyone who's known me for a long time is in utter shock that I have children. Utter shock, I tell you. And especially like more than one. I'd always been the girl who said, I'm going to have a whole bunch of puppies in my house. Didn't realize it was going to be two-legged puppies in the house. But I think that one thing that was resonating with me as a woman, and I understand there's a lot of reasons why people do and do not have children. Some are physical and some are emotional. I get it. I have felt that as a woman, as a mother, I have never understood how greatly I can love until I had children. There is another level that you go to of care and being present in this world when children are in your life. You are in a life or death profession. Especially after your last fight with it, really you could have had a much more severe skull injury than you did. Do you think about that now a little bit more? You have all
Oh,
these other opportunities. Unlike a lot of other female boxers, you're making money. You are a brand.
yeah, no, I do think about it a lot. And there's been times because, like you said, um, I didn't know how much I could love anything or how much I could care for something or somebody in that way. So it did cross my mind a lot. It's like, well, it's not about me anymore. And what if something does happen to me, or what if I do get hurt? Um, I don't want to uh, do anything that doesn't allow me to be there for him. But at the same time, it's also I want him to understand that women can do everything. So it's a choice, but either way, he's gonna get the same. He's gonna get the best out of me. Whether I decide to stop boxing for him, that's a choice for him. If I continue to box, it's still a choice for him because I want him to see my mom did that, or my mom, she like later on he'll understand, and maybe, and not maybe, but for sure, have more respect for women in general. He is coming from the Latin world. Yeah, not he's second generation, but he's bilingual. His dad's Cuban, and I really just want him to think different and see that there's a lot of ways that women can operate, and for me to be his mom and love him to death, and he sees that very soft part of me, but to also see like, hey, like she's a badass, and she like
Hmm.
literally goes in the ring and has fought for a very long time. I think that is what allows me to, one, keep going in it and not be afraid of it, but two, it allows me to perform better because I'm I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about if something happens to me, what happens to him. And I fight better because of it. And it gives me a lot more, it helps me see things a lot more and be a lot more careful, a lot less reckless than I would have been in the past, because I know that what happens to me happens to him. And it's changed, but I definitely decided to go the direction of keep doing it, just do it smarter, and try to show him that women and are capable of a lot more than a lot of people think. I'm really just trying to have him have that different type of mindset and respect women as he moves forward in life as well.
That's awesome, and we really appreciate that. Cece's a big component, a backer of that. She loves, and when we bring people on this show, the time kind of gets away from us because we love to talk about other than the certain things that every other 100 interviews we're going to talk about this and that. We're different, right? We like to talk to you about the things that make people understand where you come from. We are all the same. We were once kids watching the Chavez fights with a carne asada going on in the back, and our family around. Just how why I now announce, and that is why now you fight, and that's why CC now follows and becomes #1 on Instagram with her interviews with the UFC. That's just the way she rolls, right? But there is an elephant in the room, and we have another interview, so we do have to let you go, but we do need to talk about this. I live in Phoenix. Another fighter here that is from the Phoenix area is who you have the fight with here. She's very outspoken in the fact that she wasn't impressed with your last fight, and she has basically dared you to come at her and has dared you to brawl with her. She says that for her, her power is superior. Her boxing skills are superior, even though you are an Olympian. She was #1 in Mexico for the longest time, and she feels that she is going to basically beat you without a problem. How do you respond to that with those comments?
To be honest with you, I I really want to take that serious, but I don't. It doesn't even get me upset, and I'm not hard to piss off. If someone says something about me, you're very disrespectful. I'm big on respect, huge on respect. So because I've never had an issue with her, we like me and Sanisa had real issues. Like as people, we didn't like each other.
Right.
I don't have an issue with her. If she has one with me, I don't know where it's coming from. I think maybe she's might be just building the hype up for herself to be angry. But I can't take that serious because I don't even think that she believes that. I think she's just saying it. And I just, given our history, given um, she could say she wasn't impressed by the fight, but she wasn't in the fight. And she could say she wasn't impressed with it, but I've never seen her fight with her skull open. So until she's done or been in that same scenario, or oh yeah, you're an Olympian, but I'm a better pro. It's like, okay, but you didn't go to the Olympics and you're you're a better pro, but this is your biggest fight. So, and I'm your biggest fight. So it's like, I don't think a lot of the things that she's saying she believes, and I'm not insulted by them. I just think at the end of the day, like, um, okay, cool. So you're daring me to do what I do. It's not like you're, and if we've never fought before, and it's like, oh, I dare her to come at me, and it's like, but I have already, and I won. So I don't think that a lot of it makes sense to me of why she's saying those things. So it doesn't bother me. I think we have a plan in place. Our plan is definitely to go forward. I do want to beat her at what she thinks she's great at, and I really just want to see see what she really is thinking and doing. I think she also with all that, I already have the rap of, being there's always the good versus evil, and she's supposed to be the good and I'm supposed to be the evil, and that's the role I've been taking on, and I'm okay with it because it makes for more exciting fights and a lot more of opportunities. I just don't think that she's being honest about it. So we'll find out. I just can't take it serious. I just can't take it serious. I just can't.
Well, I'm gonna let CC close this out for you. It was a pleasure meeting you. I'm sure I'll meet you down the road again. I'll be watching the fight from my bubble in San Antonio. I'm not missing this fight. I wish you guys both the best of luck, and may the best woman win. CC, take it from here, baby.
Yeah, it's going to be an
Thank
incredible
you.
fight. It's an important fight for women's boxing as well. And so, Friday night, October 30th on DAZN, get your subscription bag or get you a code that you can hold for the night.
Yes.
You do want to watch this fight. So we've been talking with Marlen Esparza. She has to go. Still cutting weight? Or are you there?
I'm pretty much there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm about 2 pounds away, and I'm
Alright.
eating and everything. So
All right.
I'm good to go.
You'll be done by the end of the night. So thank
Yeah.
you so much, Marlen. Look out for her CoverGirl commercials and all the other ones that she's got going on. Anything you want to tease that you're involved with, Marlen, before you go?
No, we're just working. You know, we're gonna have a huge announcement soon, but obviously Nike and me are working on some really good stuff. Chobani, we have a good few things. One I really want to tell, but it's gonna be massive, and
Come
you know,
back.
just really.
Oh yeah, we gotta bring you guys back. Sure.
And I just really want everybody to just tune in and.
Oh man. Hey, we lost you for a quick second. You back? Oh,
No.
mm-mm.
Mm.
No.
All right, we'll let her go.
Let her go.
We'll let her go. CC, I know she has to go, but I'm sure whatever it is you have to say, you're gonna have to come back and say it on here. So we'll have to bring her back, I guess. That's just
Yes.
All
Best
right,
of luck
so-
to you.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Well, I don't know, CC. I've never met her before. I've known of her. Obviously, watched the fight, seen the massive cut, and I think that it's going to be one hell of a fight. I mean, Suleiman is super pumped. She's ready. Marlen's super ready. I mean, they both have. What's so weird is that they both have a lot of things in common as far as like, you know, growing up in the sport. And unfortunately, both of they have lost a brother. So it kind of, in a full circle, brings them together
All right.
to meet. And of course, I don't want to segue into that, but obviously, I mean, they do have a lot of things in common that they probably didn't even realize. And those forces will meet and collide on Friday. And man, as soon as my weigh-in's over and I get my dinner delivered to my room, and
For the most part, after these boxers fight or fighters fight, beef is squash. A little
Hey,
bit
guys.
different with Marlen. Hey, hold on a second. A little bit different between Marlen and Sinisa because they really don't like each other. And of course, Marlen was split open, so she couldn't come back and address anything that was being said. I get a feeling though that these two, Sulem and Marlen, they may have a more amicable conversation after it's over. So Mike Dixon is in the house. What up, Mike?
MD?
Everybody.
Hey, can I get a polo?
Yes.
Man.
When you return back to Vegas after you leave the bubble. Hey, unfortunately, we were pressed for time, and great job as always, guys. I was running around trying to do my Adam Schefter thing for this fight, and this fight coming up on Saturday. And on this card, it's exclusive. I'm not going to reveal it till tomorrow until we have our interview with Michaela Meyer. But for now, just want to let everybody know. Our friends.
Why don't you just say, why don't you just say one part of it?
I'm about to let everybody know right now. For our friends in the boxing world.
All right.
Thank you, Marlen. I just want to say, at the Superbook, and for disclaimer purposes, I have to say this, okay? These are hypothetical lines for Marlen and Sulem. As of Friday, this will be an actual pick'em fight from the Las Vegas odds makers. However, Sulem is a slight favorite in this fight because of more fights and experience. But everything was determined based upon previous opponents, matchups, bouts, rankings, and everything. So this can go either way on the betting side. So I think that's huge. But for Michaela Meyer,
who we will have on the
do
show
not want to
tomorrow.
miss this tomorrow. I am like Roger Goodell with the #1 overall pick. This card tomorrow at 1 p.m. It may not come. I'm just leave that. Anyways, what do you guys think about that? Do you think it's a pick 'em fight between Sulam and Marlen?
I don't know.
Listen. They both have their strengths. Sulem is tough. Sulem is just as equally as tough as Marlen. I think that it's just going to be a good fight, man. You know, like I said yesterday when we had Sulem on here, Sulem seems so focused, so ready for the moment. Marlen has been here already. She's in the moment now. Whether that will be the difference or not, we'll see. But she's already here. She's got other things going on. You know, maybe that's a distraction. Who knows? I just know that on Friday, I'll be sitting there in my PJs with my delivered dinner and my 32-ounce glass of water to hydrate for the fight the next day.
You got to make weight.
Them damn lights, man, I tell you, people don't understand. Them lights come down and woo-wee, I get a tan just from being in there, man. I think it's going to be fantastic. I think it's going to be the sleeper fight of the whole card, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be an unbelievable strength of – I mean, they both have the same pedigree as far as, like, the training. Andy Soto, Sulem's training, is an Olympic coach. That their whole pedigree is building Olympic fighters. Sulem's brother was one of the best fighters in the nation based on that same type of training. You know, Esparza has that training. She's been through that. She's got the AIBA championships. She's got the London experience. Like, man, this is going to be crazy. You take #1 in Mexico for the longest time. Then you take an AIBA champion, and 3 years down the road, you just squash them together. It's like Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. Ooh, I can't wait.
Damn, you got me fired up.
He said nothing.
It's going to be insane. Friday night, Saturday night, Halloween night in Las Vegas. And then we have UNLV playing. And then following Sunday, Raiders on the road against Cleveland as +3.5 under.
Wait, Mike.
Man,
we still ain't heard from Cece yet.
I know.
It is a pick 'em for me. Here's what it's going to come down to is that I think Marlen has been through the fire. She had to fight with her skull exposed. And the only way you know how to get out of something like that is to be in it. And if it's a war, I think Marlen has had the experience to fight in a war at that level. I think skill for skill, it's really even for me. I know Sulem talks about, having more pro skills, but I think they have the same type of pedigree in terms of being ready to fight as a pro. Difference is going to be level of competition and what they've seen before and how well they can adjust. And I also think conditioning is going to play a part in this fight. Women only fight 2-minute rounds, so it's going to go pretty quickly. And I don't know, man. It's a pick 'em, but I'm kind of leaning to Marlen. Kind of, just because.
Cece, I need to jump in and tell you something too. I'm gonna, from my contacts over at the sports books, and this is something we need to make a change with in women's boxing. And I talked to them about this, and you alluded to about the 2-minute rounds, right? And the reason they say they don't put women's boxing on the lines of the odds is because it's 2 minutes round, 2-minute rounds. If that's the case, what are we gonna do about that? You just have to just pick a side or no over and unders because of round totals, but the sports books need to find a way to adjust that because women's have 2-minute rounds. Like, I think it's kind of like
the sports books can make the adjustment easier than boxing can make adjustments. So that's just nonsense. It's just them not wanting to do it. But I think one way for the sanctioning bodies to get women 2-3-minute rounds is to make the championship fights 3-minute rounds. So that way you can build up to it and get the pool ready.
I agree. I was about to say that too. I was like, what does it look like for me to tell the commissions and sanctions, everybody who put this together, like, hey, yeah, make it 3 minutes round so we get better. No, that's not going to happen. It's been going on like that for.
Well, Layla McCarter, who was signed with Mayweather for a while, she has sparred 3-minute rounds her whole career. That is why she is multiple-time champion, and she's been around the sport. Damn it feels like since I was a kid. She spars guys and spars 3-minute rounds because she says, if I spar 3-minute rounds all my life, the 2-minute rounds seem like 30 seconds. That's what she's always been able to do well. But she is in favor of 3-minute rounds. She's asked for it many a times in public, in private, to everybody that would listen. She is a big favor of 3-minute rounds because, you know, you don't really get to see a fighter get broke down. You got to move fast. That's why CC's saying this thing from the get-go is going to be fire. I don't see them even messing around at all. I see them going forward. I see Marlen either staying back and countering or making her charge, and it's just going to be lit. That's all. I mean, that's where I'm at.
Both are scrappy fighters, and I think it's going to be a dog fight, man. And we already know they're tough. They bang harder than some of these guys. I know most people might not agree with that, but no, I've seen these women fight. You seen her last fight? Forehead, man. Wide open.
Hey, before we gotta thank Marlen's publicist.
Yes.
And,
Bianca, thank you, Bianca. And thank you, Jeremy Long, behind the boards, always holding it down. And be on the lookout for TBH coming up at 6:30 p.m.
The Black Hole.
That's right.
Like
and
today.
That's coming up today, huh? Okay.
That's Tuesday. I know my days are so like,
always putting together a great show.
But tomorrow,
Tomorrow
we're at a different time. We're at 1:00 tomorrow, Pacific time.
Who do you guys have on tomorrow?
Michaela Meyer.
Oh, you got Michaela tomorrow?
Michaela tomorrow.
Yes.
I be getting Wednesdays now. I'm jealous of Wednesday. I might have called Mike Tyson.
Go ahead.
I'm just kidding.
We might reveal this during the press conference, and we did get the validation. I have it here on my phone. Okay, this is just for show you guys. I'm working it like Adam Schefter over here. We cover up his phone number. This is Jay from the Westgate Superbook. Can you guys see it?
Is anyone else confused by what Mike is talking about?
Yeah.
No, the exclusive for
Jay,
the.
Mike is pushing the bets because nobody else has a line on these fights except him. Yeah. So he's getting exclusive. He literally was there, and he said, "Hey, make me a line for this fight right now," and they made it for him. That's how much pull this man.
Help was on the phone with me while I was there. We just took the photo because
Gotcha.
They're probably scared of you. You know what?
It's not going to come to a shock to some. However, just
listen. Are we doing Friday?
I feel like I'm saying it now.
Are we doing Friday? Because I'm going to be like all over the place. Are we taking a break on Friday or you want to roll Friday?
No, we're going to take a break on Friday because you're going to be doing what you do. So we had Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for you this week. And,
I do believe I will be going on the YouTube stream. I got Ladarius Memphis Miller fight. We're going to be pushing out on the Showtime stream. So that's going to be really good. Look out for the Pro Grays Juan Heraldez fight. I'm telling you right now, we weren't able to get him on the show. We had him scheduled. He had to get into extra training camp. That's going to be fire. Guys, if you're watching, look, there's going to be all kinds of boxing on Halloween night. We got a card in London with Queensberry, I believe. We have Chisora fight, right? Chisora fight. That fight's going on. Then we have the Inoue fight in the bubble. Then we have our fight. But, hey.
The monster.
You follow Levels, so you know where to turn into. Support my gig, Showtime. You can catch those other ones on tape delay. Gervonta Davis, Leo Santa Cruz. I'm gonna go out on a limb right now before we cut this show off. I'm gonna tell you right now, Gervonta Tank Davis, 8-round stoppage.
Wow.
On Leo Santa Cruz.
All right.
Put a house payment on it right now. That's big. Look at bro's face right now.
Tank is already 4 days ago when I did this interview at 135. He's already there. He's not drained. He's not dying on the scale. The dude is ready. He's focused. Floyd is right there. Calvin's in his face. 8-round knockout, man. And like my friend Raging Babe said, I said what I said.
Said what I said. I will be hosting a Halloween party for my 2 kids in the backyard. So we're gonna be like, oh man, I got the mummies and the ghosts and the snacks and
Ginger beer.
yes, child, ginger beer. Witch's brew is what we're calling it for them. I gotta go pick up some dry ice, but I will have.
Hey, is your hair going back here? Because look, we got tricks and treats at Cece's house. Make sure that hair's on point.
Man, the hair, look, it's just gonna be me and the children. I ain't got to do my hair. They don't care.
You're gonna be Bob for Apple. You're like, turn it off.
We are doing Bobby for apples. They're each gonna have their own little bin though, because it was like that's the nastiest stuff ever. But if you got your own bin, you can go ahead.
Those are your children. They don't care.
The little girl ain't with that. She's not trying to like share spit with her brother. She said that's just nasty. So I gotta get her own bin. I don't blame her. But hey, for Jeremy Long, I am Cassandra Cousineau, your girl, the Sportsnista. He is Ralph Velez, Ramblin' Ralph, and he is Mike Dixon of Vegas Sports Daily. We're going to see y'all again tomorrow. Stay out of trouble.
Turn it off.